The brightness of this day has given me the opportunity to bring you this video. Welcome back to my channel, Winging It with AC. My name is AC. Today, we're talking about breastfeeding. Now, if you've been following me since the beginning of this channel, you know that AC is all about breastfeeding. I'm a breastfeeding advocate. If you hear all that noise, please just ignore it. It sounds from outside. I'm tired of trying to make sure that my room is quiet enough, so let's just move on with it. Now, like I was saying, you know that I'm a breastfeeding advocate. I love talking about breastfeeding and encouraging mothers to breastfeed as much as they can. I am not a lactation consultant. I am not a midwife. I am not a health professional in any way. Everything that I say concerning breastfeeding is based on my experience, is based on the research that I did, and I am sharing it with you. So today I am talking about the things that I wish I knew about breastfeeding, or the things that I didn't know about breastfeeding. Now, in some of my breastfeeding videos, I do remind you that you need to remove more milk to make more milk. So the more milk you remove very often, the more your brain is signaled, or your body is signaled to make more milk, because it's like, hey, let the production go up, let the production go up. Okay, so always remember that, okay, when it comes to breastfeeding. Now let's get started. Number one, I wish I had known that, or what I didn't know about breastfeeding, is that it doesn't come naturally. It's a learned skill. It's a skill that you need to learn, and the same for your baby as well. Now, when I've mentioned it before, but when I gave birth, after about 2 months or 3 months, I remember messaging my friends who were pregnant at the time, that listen, before you give birth, they were almost due, and I'm like, listen, before you give birth, make sure that you can read all that you can read about breastfeeding, the videos that you have to watch, like watch as many videos as you can about breastfeeding, and educate yourself about breastfeeding before you give birth. That's one thing that I wish I had done before I gave birth. I was scrambling to do it afterwards, and like, even when in the first week when I was struggling, it still didn't even occur to me. It's after a friend gave me advice about different positions, and then I started watching YouTube videos, and I started watching all these videos about breastfeeding. I was like, why didn't I watch these before I gave birth? So it is, you think that it comes naturally. That's because you've seen, as you've grown up, you've seen people breastfeeding their babies, but so you just kind of know that, oh, when I give birth, I just put my baby to the breast and that's it. As much as your baby has been born with a sucking reflex, they still need to learn how to latch on properly. Now, the whole issue about latching is a story for another day. It's a topic for another day, so we'll cover that another time. Now, apart from those resources, those of you in Ghana, you have Pregnancy Matters Ghana. You know, I love talking about Jocelyn and the work that she is doing. If you're not following her on Instagram, please make sure that you are following her. Okay, she has all these courses on birthing and latch language, breastfeeding, and she also does one-on-one consultation. So I know some people don't like to pay for it, or they feel like, why should I pay for it? But listen, it's her experience that she's sharing. When you go to the consulting room to see a doctor, do you not pay consultation fee? So why do you not want to pay consultation fee if she's giving you 30 minutes of her time? She's giving you 1 hour of her time. Guys, don't do that, okay? And even if you're not in Ghana, you want to use it, you can still use it, because listen, right now the world is all about Zoom, okay? So please head over to Instagram and follow her, and she's a great resource. Pregnancy Matters is a great resource. Anyway, let's move on. So number two, the second thing that I wish I knew when it came to breastfeeding, or I didn't know, was that breastfeeding makes you sweat a lot. Now, I don't know if it's everyone, but me, already now, I sweat a lot. Like, I sweat so quickly, and I sweat a lot. Like, I'm always sweating if the weather is hot. But when I started breastfeeding this boy, from, okay, so this is from the age range of between 0 to 3 months, every time I would pick serum up to feed him, I would start sweating bullets. Like, I'll be drenched in sweat. I'm like, what is this? And then you would think the room is hot, but the room is not hot. And he would also be sweating, like he would be sweating. So at a point, even using just like a handkerchief was not enough. I had to use like, I guess, a face towel, and then I'll be breastfeeding him, and then I'll call my husband or my mom to take the face towel and just wipe my back, my arms. I'll be drenched in sweat. Now, one thing I did know was that it burns calories. So I haven't done my research. So I don't know if the burning of the calories is with the production of the milk or when you're actually feeding your baby. My theory is that it is when you're feeding your baby that you're burning the calories, because listen, the way I was sweating, it was so serious. So that's one thing that I wish that I knew about breastfeeding. Now, another thing that I didn't know about breastfeeding, or I wish I had known about breastfeeding, was the fact that it makes you hungry. I was hungry all the time, and I was thirsty. As for the thirst, it was during the time I'm breastfeeding him. So what, it's now dawning on me, like I'm sweating so much, so of course I'll be thirsty. So it's like exercising. So right now, as far as I'm concerned, I've proven my theory right. The fact that the calories are burned while you are feeding, because I would be so thirsty. So I always had to make sure that before I sit down to breastfeed him, I had a bottle of water beside me. Okay, so while I'm feeding him, sometimes by the time, like I was on my parents' place for 2 months, so they had the Voltic bottles, the 1 liter bottles. By the time I'm done with one feeding session with Serum, which is maybe like 45 minutes to an hour, I have finished like sometimes more than half of the 1 liter bottle just sitting there. Like I used to be so thirsty. I would just be drinking, gulping it down. So that's another thing I wish that I knew or I didn't know. Now, the next point is, what's the next point? With the contraction of the milk. Now, the next point is, I knew that breastfeeding helps with the contraction of the womb, of the uterus, so that your uterus goes back to the size that it was prior to you getting pregnant. But I did not know that it would be painful. So for me, it felt like I don't know, somebody with claws like raking my womb. That's how it would feel like. So it's like I can feel it contracting. It feels as if each time it's contracting, like there are some forks that are just digging into my uterus or my abdomen. That's how it felt. I didn't know that with a contraction it would be painful. It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. Now, the last thing that I wish I knew about breastfeeding was that in the first 1 or 2 weeks, it's painful. So you are, like I said earlier on, you are learning how to breastfeed. Your baby is learning how to suck, is learning how to latch onto your breast. So you're both learning, okay, and it can be painful. So you are dealing with engorged breast. I had never seen my breasts so big and heavy, like they felt like stone, so I am glad that I spoke to a big sister who said to me, push through the pain. And you have cracked nipples, you have sore nipples, and you're supposed to, the thought of it is just making me wince. You are supposed to still have somebody sucking on it. It's painful, but you have to push through the pain because it gets better. So ordinarily, breastfeeding is not painful. As you go along and you get better at it, it's no longer painful, and it shouldn't be painful. So if you are breastfeeding right now and you feel like you're going through too much pain every time you breastfeed, please call Jocelyn of Pregnancy Matters Ghana ASAP. Book a consultation with her and let her help you out, okay, so that you can go the long haul with the breastfeeding to the 6 months or whatever points that you want to get to with breastfeeding. Now, I know that this video has been helpful and enlightening, Don't you think it will help some other mother, somebody who's pregnant right now? She's in her 6th month, she's about to deliver, she just delivered. I know you know somebody, share it with her. And even not just a first time mom, but even a second time mom, share it. Okay, don't be stingy. Okay, I wish I had this information, or I had known about this before I gave birth. So don't let somebody else who is connected to you be saying the same thing months down the line. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. By 28th February this year, which is just a few weeks away, we should hit 1K subscribers, and you guys are the ones who are going to help me to meet that milestone. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video.